Welcome back, YouTube. This is COZUNON.
With Billy. That's me.
That's him. And today, we're doing another Memories episode about Metal Gear Solid for the PlayStation 1.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. That's how I roll.
That's how you roll. Go ahead and just go ahead and start talking about some of your memories about Metal Gear Solid.
This game was fucking awesome. I had so much fun playing this game. The other Metal Gear Solid games, I'll be honest, I never beat them. I played them, but I never beat them. This is the only Metal Gear Solid game that I played and I actually beat all the way through. I mean, this game was just awesome. I love that beginning sequence where, you know, your character's
I hated that sequence.
Yeah, you did tend to see it a lot, didn't you?
I played the game I don't know how many times, and I got tired of seeing that sequence. I beat this game, I don't know, like ridiculously amount of times, and that sequence, and you can never get past it. The first couple of times it's cool and it's really cool to watch, and when you go back to play it, it's cool to watch, just relive it. But when you're playing it like for the 5th straight time in the row or whatever time it is, just trying to unlock everything, it gets really redundant and boring fast.
Yeah, I think a lot of the cutscenes do that. They do get boring, redundant, and everything else. But, you know, beyond that, this is an awesome game. This is a really fun game that I had so much fun playing. It's just everything about the crawling around in a little cardboard box. I mean, that's goofy but awesome, you know?
I never really did do the box that much. I had all the boxes. There was like A, B, and C. I never used them, but you know, everything about this game was just awesome. About stealth, I love stealth type of games. I'm a big fan of like Tenchu, but that's a whole nother subject. I love stealth type of games, and where you have to, you know, use your mind to get past everybody. And even the main bosses in this were legit.
Oh,
so
yeah.
Awesome. Raven, Sniper Wolf, Revolver Ocelot, Mantis, you know, and of course Metal Gear and Liquid Snake, the Ninja. All of them could have been like the main boss of a game by themselves, but I mean, they just threw all these badass characters in this one game, and it just made it so fucking awesome.
Do you remember that one boss where you're sitting there and you're fighting him, and you're not doing any damage to this guy, and the screen like keeps pausing and it says Kojima or Kojima on the top left, and then you have to take out the controller and put it into the other controller.
That's the Mantis.
The Mantis, yes.
Or Psycho Mantis. He's reading your thoughts, and the only way to beat him is to take the controller out and put it in the second controller, so you can actually shoot him. And it's actually, if you had some saved games like Castlevania. And the other one I remember is Silent Hill. He would actually make comments about those games too, because he actually goes through your memory card. And there's a couple other games on there too. Yeah, there's a couple other games on there too that's on that list, but I don't remember all of them. I just remember Castlevania, Symphony of the Night, and Silent Hill. Which it was kind of weird to get Silent Hill because Silent Hill hadn't come out by the time this game had come out. It was still supposed to be released in the future, so they kind of just threw it in there, you know, knowing that this is going to happen in the future. Now, I always thought that was pretty cool.
That is pretty cool, actually.
I don't know why this sticks out in my head, but it does. But when you're following Meryl, and if you follow her really close, and she has to go change real quick, if you follow her too closely, you actually catch her before she's done changing.
I remember that.
And then there's also the how you know, in depth this game is. Like, during the first mission, after you get into the building and you're crawling around the air ducts trying to find, you know, the guy you're in there to go get before he dies, if you look down in the air ducts, you see Meryl. She's in there just working out. And there's supposed to be some other scenes, like if you go back down the ladder before you go talk to the dude, and you go back up, and she's doing some other kind of like aerobics, I think it was, if I remember correct. I
didn't realize that.
Yeah. I mean, this game was just really in depth and had a lot of different stuff to it. Another big memory I have with this game is at one point you're running up these stairs in this big tall building, and the alarm is going off. You can't do nothing to change this. You automatically get caught. And so you're running up the stairs and you're killing all these people. And that memory always stuck out in my mind. And I remember after one of the times I beat it, I got the stealth suit. And I try to be slick. Because what happens is you run in the door and there's a camera right above the door, like right above your head. So once you go in there, it catches you. Point blank, you can't get around it. You can try using one of those little, the little grenades that mess up all electronics, but that doesn't work either. So I try to be slick. I try to use the stealth suit, and then I ran in there, but it still catches you, which is kind of dumb because, you know, you see yourself and you're invisible, or kind of invisible, you know, bends the light and all that shit. And then you're running up the stairs and everybody still sees you. So in that instance, you know, that's part of the game where it doesn't change no matter what you do. It's just always the same. Another big thing I remember is Revolver Ocelot. He is the fucking man. And when he's doing the torture chamber, now I've talked to several different people about this, and they, my friend Max, in fact, when we were just talking about this game, I believe it was Max, and he said when he's being tortured by Revolver Ocelot, he had one of the controllers that had the turbo button on it. And one of the things Revolver Ocelot says is don't try to use a turbo controller because I'll know. And he said he tried to use a turbo controller, but it didn't work. Just like the game said, he knew about it. But then when we played it, we actually had a Mad Catz controller that had the turbo button also. I'm guessing the button sequence didn't press as fast because we still got away with it, but our life would always go down crazy amounts. So, and that whole setup is if you give in to the torture, then Meryl dies. If you don't give in, then Meryl stays alive at the end. And that kind of gives you, you know, different endings, or not different. It does give you a different ending, but I did it for the artifact it gives you when you beat it. I think one was the headband, which gave you unlimited ammo, and the other one I want to say was the camera. I'm not 100% on that one, because usually when I played through, I always, you know, I just held down the X button and I always won. But there was one time when I just gave in just to get the other item, and I want to say it was the camera, which was useless. I didn't really like the camera all that much, to be honest with you.
Yeah, good game, fun game. I had a lot of fun with this. I remember the
Metal Gear.
The huge Metal Gear. That was awesome. I never really saw that, you know, in the game before in 3D. Well, maybe Armored Core, but it was just awesome, you know. And you got to fight that robot. It was just.
I think it was what was epic about it is you're climbing around. You're climbing around it. You're climbing up on it, you know, taking catwalks above it, and then like 10 minutes later you're fighting the damn thing, and it's just so fucking huge. It's just an awesome fight, like possibly one of my favorite, definitely in the top 5 villains of all time. It's just so awesome. But then every single villain in this game was awesome. Psycho Mantis to his own degree, his own little twisted warp, and Sniper Wolf. I hated that bitch for the longest time.
I hated that bitch too.
Hated her. Revolver Ocelot was the shit. I liked him a lot in Metal Gear Solid 2, I want to say. Maybe it was 3 Snake Eater. I think it was 3.
I always thought that Raven was the easiest.
Raven was the man. I loved Raven and his big gun. And then just to go almost on like a side note, Metal Gear Solid 2. You're in the ship at the very beginning of the game and you're still playing as Solid Snake. And when you come up to this one room, there's actually a light shining under the wall, and you see a silhouette of Raven, and I'm like, what the fuck? Because this part of the game, you know, it's not supposed to be, you know, he's not supposed to be there. Obviously he's dead. So you run around the corner to see what it is, and it's actually just a little Raven action figure, and then like somehow like a light falling behind it and just showing it up on the wall real big. But it was just real cool that what, you know, Konami has put into Metal Gear Solid and put into every single, you know, each one of their installments to make it like a little bit more, you know, put you into the story a little bit more, you know, give you a little bit of extras. What I like to think of it.
Hell yeah.
Anyway, YouTube, I just want to say thanks for watching. Rate, subscribe, comment, like the video, do whatever it is you think you have to do. If you have a message, or if there's a game you want us to talk about, you know, send me a message. Send me a personal message. If we played it, we'll definitely, you know, if we have a lot of great memories about it, we'll definitely do a video on it. You know, till next time, stay up and game on.
See you, YouTube.